Mayor? Trustee? How's everybody tonight?
How are you? Good to see you, sir.
Gloria, how are you?
Fine, how are you?
Yeah.
I see you guys up there with your jacket? Aren't you guys on something jacket?
Yeah, we're dog walking.
Okay.
Are you
Let's see. We're opening the 4th of July. Your Piper.
not it anymore? You can celebrate it.
No, we're having that Peter Piper.
That's hilarious. No,
We've been working on it for those past 3 years.
you're gonna be like on the news and then you like on the Instagram.
No.
I hope so.
No.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So you guys are walking Leo?
What's that?
You guys are walking Leo?
Yeah, we have like 6 people to take drinks. Keeps Jackie happy. That's,
She's not home, isn't she?
she's going to Rochester. Yep, then. Good luck today.
Is she okay?
Just set it up for you.
I know, she just came out.
It's
I
just,
know.
they just keep finding you. It's not good.
What are you going?
Just to the Leo.
I mean, hopefully they will.
Please tell me she's taking her sister with her. Is her sister going with her?
Yeah. They left today.
Good.
So she might be,
Does she fly?
she might be there, but she's gonna check in with Guillermo and then Guillermo will tell us. We'll know that more.
I have Jackie's number, I just, I woke her up one night, she left the van light on. Like the next morning.
I bet she has a lot of people watch her.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Good to see you.
What are these little goodie
Mhm.
bags? Christmas.
Hey guys. Well, it's warm in here, huh? Yeah. Hello, Mr. Hutchinson. How are you?
Good yourself.
Good, sir. This is exciting. Awesome.
That's true.
That's my group, guys. That's what I said.
Oh, this is
This
his.
one is- There's some right there. No problem.
How's my dog?
He's great. My dog is great.
My dog.
Hello.
He loves
Hey.
the dogs. And then it was
Hello.
a dog.
Yes.
And he was a kid. Picked her up. I was like,
This is
"Oh,
not a screw. This is like, yeah, we have a great.
He's looking for me. Like he, whenever I walk around,
What kind of dog is it?
he's a toy Australian Shepherd.
I'll
See the vice reverend, the white man.
No, he's
Thank you for the dessert.
Oh my God, I'm serious.
You know what?
You are barely left out of the, you're not even out of the house, right?
And we have more, if you want to come by, it's just food for each other.
Did you know, I've been trying to, in the last few days, looking for. I have not found it anywhere.
I have two of them actually.
So,
Yeah, I'll
They're
take it out.
so cute.
oh my
I'll take it out.
It's your puppy.
But actually, no, he's full grown.
I can't either, I will die.
Jump in the car like they're attacking our favorite.
All right, everybody. Today is August 11th, 2025. The time is now 6 o'clock in the evening. We are here at the Mesilla Town Hall for our regularly scheduled Board of Trustees meeting. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'll please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda is roll.
I'm so sorry. Just wanted to let everybody out there know and let me know, I might get a very important phone call that I might have to take. I've got another sick fur baby.
And if we do, then we'll let it go as that. All right. And if we lose quorum, we lose quorum. So, all right. So, but you got to take care of business. But thank you for letting me know on that, trustee. We'll try to get through as expedient as possible. With that in note, next order of business is roll call and determination of a quorum. Gloria, if you would call roll, please.
Mayor Hernandez.
Present.
Trustee Johnson Burek.
Here.
Trustee Nevares.
Present.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And on the note and on the record, Mayor Pro Tem Merrick as well as Trustee Cadena did let me know a little bit earlier that they would not be present for the meeting today. So the next item on the agenda is changes to the agenda and approval. I can have a motion to approve, please.
So
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevares. And I do have a few changes to make to the agenda, and that is under item number 4. In particular, items B and C need to be removed completely. And then if D can be moved down to action item to be first heard under 7A on that. And are there any other changes to the agenda? If there are no other noted changes to the agenda, with a motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevares, Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please, for the amended agenda.
Trustee Nevares.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson Burek.
yes.
No, because it's not, we have a quorum.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yeses.
Great. Thank you very much for approval of that agenda. Next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda, which does include the BOT meeting minutes for July 28th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Nevares, seconded by Trustee Johnson Burek. And if there is no discussion or objection, the motion will carry and the consent agenda will be approved. Thank you very much for approval of the consent agenda that does include the BOT meeting minutes for July 28th, 2025. Next item on the agenda is public input on cases. This is where if any member of the public has input to give on the cases that are being heard this evening under action and consideration for old business or action and consideration for new business, please step to the podium and state your name for the record. No? If there is no public input on the cases, we'll move on to item number 6, action and consideration. Old business approval of PZHAC case 062030 with condition for 2410 Calle Parian, submitted by Tom Hutchinson for La Posta, requesting for a small building expansion and parking lot improvements in the historic commercial zone. Can I have a motion on the floor, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevares and Eddie, if you'll, or Mr. Salazar.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, trustees. This is just a continuation of the last meeting we had regarding Mr. Hutchinson's proposal or request to build an addition and a parking lot project. Last time we had an issue with the not all the signatures were submitted for this request. We did have an extensive meeting with Mr. Maese, Chief Whited, Mr. Astorga, and myself, along with Mr. Hutchinson and his engineer, and we came to a conclusion that the addition will be having some sprinkler systems in it to allow it to meet all the requirements for fire. Other than that, there really wasn't any other discussion rather than to meet the fire code, which was the concern from Chief Whited, and it looks that that's been resolved. Other than that, I'll stand by for any questions.
So I see that you have provided this to us.
Mhm.
I see that it's been viewed by the fire marshal, but he hasn't signed off on it yet.
If you, trustee Johnson Burek, if you look at the last sheet of the plans themselves, and the very last sheet is the signatures, all required by the department heads.
I thought you could just- Building plans. Oh. Yes. Yeah, I only saw this sheet. All right, everybody has signed up. Thank you.
Trustees, any other questions on this case? Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by trustee Nevada's. Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Nevada,
Yes.
trustee Johnson Burek,
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
Great. Thank you very much for approval of PZHAC case 062030 with condition.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson, for your patience. Thank you.
Be nice, partner.
Of course. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Next item, action and consideration under new business is approval of blueprint and document scanner on there that was brought down from the consent agenda. Can I have a motion on the floor, please?
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, second by trustee Nevada's. The reason why I asked for this to be brought down is because I did not, in making the agenda, I did not include the sales agreement and the information in the original packet, which I apologize for. But there is a copy there on the desk as well as on the screen, since I'm trying to get in the motion of doing that. This was a specific request, just to give a little bit of background, by the Community Development Department to help with scanning a lot of the and printing potential blueprints that we have in-house, because we do have quite a few from over the years, both new and old. This will also serve as a printer as well, where our events coordinator will be able to print out all of the posters that we presently have going out for that. And the total cost there, $6,970.54. Are there any questions? Seeing as there are none, motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, second by trustee Nevada's. Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Johnson Burek,
Yes.
trustee Nevada,
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
I
And
apologize, everyone. This is Stephanie.
we're gonna take a quick pause,
Samantha.
6:10 in the evening, as we have lost quorum.
Thank you. Yeah, beautiful, smart.
You're so smart.
Wisdom, full of wisdom. Why never?
What's the house that you want? The house that you bought, what's it for you?
Fine.
Everybody across the street. He does not quite.
Because, we had no exercise coming out of the big benches. It almost
Electric fence.
Let us know if you need to otherwise. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. My apologies, everyone. Thank you.
All right. The time is now 6:13 and we have a quorum back in session. So next item for action and consideration under new business for discussion, the PAC Public Arts Committee BOT representative. And this is discussion only for as per our ordinance that we had done for the Public Arts Committee. And moving forward with that, we need to have, if you recall, a member of the BOT, a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then 3 members of the community. One that serves at large, one that has a history background, or history and cultural background, and then one that has a specific artwork background. So what I'm asking is for discussion amongst the Board of Trustees, and I know there's only two of you present, for the potential name to put forward for the Public Arts Committee. So,
Well,
and it doesn't
we
necessarily.
nominate either trustee Merrick or trustee Cadera.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way that's working. Meetings I've been to, so that's up to you all, though. So on that one, and remember that the meetings on this would be as applications come in. It wouldn't be necessarily meetings all the time. They would be posted, meeting the posting requirements, recorded otherwise as well, and that way all of that information is there because this is the actual meeting of the committee and not the ad hoc committee.
I had a question on the Board of Trustees. They just want a representative from the BOT, not any special background or anything.
Right. And that it'll be as the ordinance reads, is that the member from the Board of Trustees will serve as the chair of the committee in specific, and the member of the Planning and Zoning Commission will serve as the vice chair. But no specific background, just a member of the board in specific, which there again, just as it is with all the other ones, I can just assign you all, but I want to give you the option if you want to be on it or not. So.
Are you interested? Or I can make a motion?
We're not going to act on it, are we?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's just
Just
discussion. Oh, that's
Okay,
right. So we don't have to
but-
make action. Okay.
No.
But in answer to your question, it's something that I have an interest in, but because I brought up this idea in the past so
That's fine.
many times. But
Fantastic.
anyway, I mean, I'm just bringing that up. Really,
Okay.
I'm open to anybody on boards.
Great. But you do have interest in that. Any other discussion on that? Great. Then we'll move on to item B on seven action and consideration number 7, discussion for the public art and culture application guidelines, because we did have a ad hoc committee meeting this last week, or last week, I should say. And with that, we brought forward the ideas of the application just in the verbiage, and that's what you have it in, that's been included to you. The items in red were some adds and strikes that were in the noted by the committee in specific. And then, of course, there'll be a full application that'll be created off of the information that's been provided here. So basically what we're saying, just to kind of run through it, I don't have it on the screen. I'm sorry, public. I don't have it to put on there, but it is online in the packet. Section 1 is application information or applicant information. The biggest part in there, being that last question, is noting is if the applicant is a property owner, and if they're not the property owner, the name and contact info for the property owner, specific project location, and then diving into the specifics of it being zone specific and included with oversight for each area within the town of Mesilla. And then also, as you see, if a written approval from the property owner, and also include a maintenance agreement if it is applicable, and include information about the removal process, even though we have that in the ordinance, but we also need to have that in this agreement for the removal process if necessary, and the verbiage for reapplication if there is a new tenant that does come in. Project description, kind of looking at there if it's under temporary, if the surface or substrate is stucco, brick, wood, or possibly lime plaster, because if it is that lime plaster, it would need to have the specific type of paint so that that plaster does breathe as it should. Section 4, visual documentation, the rendering, sketches, photographs, the color palette and material samples are not optional, but encouraged. They are necessary. The Section 5 timeline and installation, making sure that we get information from other departments and entities and for oversight, such as Historic Preservation Division, and anybody else that might be applicable to, especially for those that are in the historic core, and those that have been identified by the national or by the Park Service in particular, that are on the National Historic Register. Section 6, artist background. The question in here, some of the questions, and it's just a question is, what if we start diving into this, does that impede on personal rights, freedom of speech? So those were questions that were asked by the board that I'll look into in specific on that with legal once we get the move forward on this. Having the resume or portfolio of past work attached, or providing a link, references, and then of course all the other information that's there. Section 7 is maintenance and liability. Section 8, community impact, not optional. It would need to be added in for sure. And then the question there, just to elaborate more on, is how does the project engage or reflect the community and respective zone? And then the other questions that are there. And then Section 9 is the agreements and signature of the application, and then submission instructions being the final, with those specific oversight from the committees, the commission, the boards, as they are listed per zone, and ensuring that we have that information on there. So, sorry, open it up for discussion on that, or any other information.
I have a question relating to this, because I think it's important that we really fully understand the freedom of speech item. I don't know how, if other communities have something similar, how do they handle this? Because that's a very complex, especially for an artist who wants to express themselves. So it's something that I really would like a lot of information on.
Most definitely. And that's why we put it on there, because we wanted to make sure that we follow up with all the details on that, and ensure that we are not, by requesting this information or having the specifics, that we are not impeding on any type of personal rights or freedom of speech in particular. So yes, most definitely. Anything else? Other discussion? No. If you, we did get our first request in. We are doing in community development. We are going through the process because it is in the historic zone, and it is a historic property. So we're reached out to Historic Preservation to get a little bit more feedback on that and guidance as well. And that's kind of where we're prompting a lot of this information and this process. But if you think of anything else, please make sure to reach out to myself Mr. Salazar or Liana Aguirre with the town specifically. That way, we can have this application ready to roll to move forward to and have the commission together, public arts commission together or committee, as well as making it go through the process with the committee to the trustees or to the planning and zoning commission and then to the trustees for all the necessary oversight as it was requested. Sound good? Next item on the agenda is for approval, item C, NMSU fire agreement update, and it is an amendment to that agreement. I can have a motion on the floor.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by trustee Nevadas. And do you want to talk on this one?
No, sir.
No? Okay.
It's already approved, so it's all good.
No,
Thank you.
not approved yet. So
Actually-
what this is just an amendment to our current agreement that we have with NMSU for their the volunteer training that their volunteers get credit for. We have it for the fire science program presently. We wanted to make sure that those that are in the EMS program also get that related credit and are allowed to participate in the educational placements within the fire department in specific. So that's the amendment, and that's the addendum that you see there.
Just for the record, under subject, it has public arts application.
Did I?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. Try and get it out to you guys as quick as possible, and that's what happens. And then of course my main helper over here was out on vacation, so which is much needed, right? All right. Any other questions on that? Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by trustee Nevadas. Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Burek,
Yes.
Nevadas,
yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
Great. Thank you very much for approval of the NMSU fire agreement amendment. Next item on the agenda is item D for discussion is the Kelinda position, a grant and capacity. So the background information as it's been provided here, I did apply for the Department of Transportation's Kelinda grant, and we did receive notification of a grant award. It has not been fully accepted because it does require the acceptance of the Board of Trustees as well. In all of this, in approval of the grant agreement and the signatory authority. This position is a unique position for the community. The city of Las Cruces as well as Doña Ana County, our neighboring communities also have this position. This position builds capacity in the sense of community engagement and cleanup. Sorry, there. No. On that. I forget that I have the slideshow going too. I'm so sorry about that. The Kelinda program, the requirement specifically for the town and this position is to have a full-time coordinator in this position that's dedicated to the local beautification program, participation in the statewide Kelinda cohort meetings and technical assistance meetings, development of formal local beautification program plan, organization of at least 3 events and 2 contracts connected with the Kelinda strategies. So with that, this is that the grant covers the position, the first year of the position, and then after that we build capacity with this. This position would, as you see in the job description that I have that's also attached, builds into where we have the Clean and Beautiful grant program that Dorothy presently monitors and does, plus all of the community cleanups that she does with the school. That would be being pulled off of her and going on to this position in specific. And then this position would also be, because they're out in the community and working with the community, they would be working closely with codes in specific, looking at different points of nuisance across the town, looking for ways to work on the beautification of our parks and public areas and different things of that aspect. So that's where this position and program will be built to really focus on the beautification aspects within the town of Mesilla. And each year, as you see on the grant award that was put in there, it is for $90,000. The town can get up to $200,000 a year in this, and it is a reoccurring grant that we apply for. The grant specifically is for it. The amount this year helps cover part of the position, as I had mentioned, but in the grant agreement, which I have not received any of that yet because I have to accept the grant first before they send all of the detailed grant information, but it gives us the opportunity to work even closer with our community actions and community in a different aspect where, take for example, where we have the schools that come out and they do community cleanup with us right now. We already issue a micro grant to the schools for them coming out and doing that. This helps to enhance that so that we can continue to do that work with the community cleanups, but we can do that work with building community gardens, planting plants, working within the 11 specific guidelines within the DOT structure, plus wherever else we have that designated to be built within. That's the unique part in this, is that it's not just the micro grant part is the best part for our community, because we do have nonprofits as well within our own community that would benefit from this. That being the potential of working closer with our Querencia Mi Mesilla, but also looking at graffiti abatement program that we can work with Trusco in specific in doing that, because I was just talking with one of their members who was interested in potentially partnering with the town or seeing how they could help out with graffiti abatement in particular. And think about graffiti abatement not necessarily as walls that have been graffitied, even though we do have a few of those, but kind of the signs and looking at the signs that have graffiti, stickers, all of that, that are all over the place. That takes a little bit of work off of our public works team, a little bit of work off of Dorothy, so that they can focus more on the grounds, the water, utilities, so on and so forth on the public works side, as well as the Dorothy focusing more on the events and promotions for the town in specific. Whew. Talk. Sorry. Questions?
I mean, it sounds like a very good idea, because it would make Mesilla a little bit more attractive and work on different things like that. But I just have a question and maybe a concern about using an open public works position. Is it going to detract from their work? And I mean, I don't know if they already have enough staff, and then removing a position is going to be
definitely. And I think that
concern.
so this is just the thought of where to build capacity potentially in the future. It is a position that all of last year we had open, but we did not fill it specifically because Lorenzo or Mr. Astorga, the public works director, felt that he had the necessary staff already in order to get the job done, and wanted to run his budget a little bit more tight and making sure that everything was taken care of. He knew that he had the position available if it did need to be filled, but he did not feel that it needed to be filled. So it still is not filled to this point. And I had talked with him about this in specific, and he's open to that idea on that. But it can all be reviewed as we build capacity.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. I mean,
most definitely.
Mayor,
Trustee.
I want to make sure I understood you correctly. Did you? So we can apply for this grant every year?
We can apply for. Sorry, go ahead and finish your question before.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that we could every year apply to get funding for this position. Did I understand that correctly?
So we can, but they're not necessarily going to fund it year after year after year because they want us to build the capacity
Right.
for the position. But the funding, like this funding that we've received, or the grant that to do this already, the 90,000 that would be awarded if it is approved, is that for that position plus other projects. And that's the thing, is that the other projects will always be that extra funding that we'll be able to apply for year after year after year. Just like how we do with because like I mentioned, this individual would also be taking over the Clean and Beautiful program, and which we have been applying for year after year after year. And that, as we've seen that Clean and Beautiful program just over the past 3 years alone, where we've grown it from where we were receiving $16,000 to $18,000 a year, and this year we received a little over $55,000 in that Clean and Beautiful funding. And so this person will also be directed in the direction to applying for the grants and writing those grants, taking that, searching for other grants that deal with the potential of community engagement, community cleanups, and all of that would affect Mesilla's Clean and Beautiful program, basically, and keeping it que linda.
So we're gonna have to make sure in this position that we're gonna have the funds to support it in the following year. And I guess I share the same concern as Trustee Navarez, is taking one of our public works positions, because I know, like, especially in the summer, when there's a lot more activity, we pride ourselves on how pretty everything looks. So I have that concern. And then it would report to Mr. Salazar.
So then I'll explain that here in a minute.
Okay, that's because that's what the way the job description is written. Okay.
So with that, when I was originally working on the packet and as well as the job description, and looking at this as a whole, the original thought and intent was to keep it in public works because it is something that is public works related. But also, when we look at it in the community engagement piece more than anything, and as much community engagement as well as the walks and how this position would specifically be working with codes and working with the nuisance side of codes across the board. That's where the community and economic development kind of the thought of being under that position or that department in specific kind of came about more than anything. So that is amenable to change however you all think that might need to be. But as of right now, with the work for writing grants as well as our current Clean and Beautiful being held under the Community and Economic Development Department presently, keeping it in that department would probably be the best idea. And then in a year, once we get to reapplying and getting everything done and looking at the true capacity of where this position is, whether it comes, because this is only a suggestion in here. And, we could potentially have built capacity by that point in time, and to have this position fully budgeted within our budget. And that's the goal, is to really, with all of these positions, is really to build that capacity overall, which we've been seeing that incremental. If you looked at the reports as they've been provided by the finance department, we've been seeing those incremental increases, which are great.
So then if we remove it from Public Works, that position, then that money will leave Public Works as well and then transfer over to community development.
It could, yes. And that would be determined in the next budget cycle in specific, not as of right now. Because as I mentioned, the first year is paid for and potentially the second year. It just depends upon the need of the community and how that grant is specifically written. So, but it won't be funded year, because it's the goal is to build capacity of it for that overall.
Yeah, I guess too, I mean, so if we accept this, I mean, we're gonna have to, I mean, it's not like we can post in the job description or on the job posting that it's a grant funded position, fixed term
Right.
only, because we're entitled now, once we accept it, to fund it for the future years. Okay,
I feel confident that we'll have that capacity.
okay. Again, just my concern with Public Works losing one of their positions.
Most definitely. It was a conversation. And, Mr. Astorga is not here this evening, which I do apologize for because he did have a long weekend, which I'll touch on during his specific department report. So I did tell him that he needed to actually take the rest of the afternoon and evening off to catch up. So because of everything that he had to do. So, but we did discuss it this morning again, and in all of the detail.
Okay.
So, any other questions or discussion? No? All right, we'll move on to item E for approval, our Kelinda Mesilla Program Coordinator position.
So moved?
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades. And I will open it up for discussion on here. And if there is no discussion, Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Johnson Burek.
Yes.
Trustee Nevades.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
Great. Thank you very much for approval of our Kelinda Mesilla Program Coordinator. Next item for approval is Resolution 2025-49 for the Kelinda Grant Support and Signatory Authority.
So moved?
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades, and I will open it up for discussion, if any. Seeing as there is none, Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Nevades.
Yes.
Trustee Johnson Burek.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
Thank you very much for approval of Resolution 2025-49 for our Kelinda Grant Support and Signatory Authority. Next item on the agenda is approval of Resolution 2025-50 for public land support.
So moved?
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades. And this is resolution for our public lands in specific in keeping our monuments safe and going through all of that. This is all of the information is vetted information from a nonprofit agency that works specifically on all of this information. Is there any other discussion? Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades. Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Trustee Johnson Burek.
Yes.
Trustee Nevades.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
Thank you very much for approval of Resolution 2025-50 for our public land support. Next item on the agenda is approval of Square 9 automation proposal and agreement.
So moved?
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades. This is for Square 9. This is that AI automation that I had told you about in the last meeting during my last comments. I put in the full proposal and what they plan on doing and working on. It does have an annual investment in here and a one-time setup fee, with that being 50% at the signing and 50% at job completion. They do anticipate it taking about 3 months to complete the full setup. This is the one where it would be the scanning of documents. We would start off with minutes and agendas, and they would all be scanned, and then they can be read by AI. We do have boxes and boxes of minutes and agendas as well as packets in the back. So that makes it to where this is an easy, we search for a keyword term, and AI goes through all of the documents and pings everything that would be there. We will have, once we get it fully set up and automated, we will be able to set up on the website a guest or resident forward link so that our residents can actually go through all of the documentation and do all of the searches as well through all of the town records as that. Of course, with all the necessary information redacted as it would have to be if it is public facing in particular. The other part is an automation that would help all of the department directors as well as our deputy clerk with processing, where the department directors would be able to submit. It creates process. This program does, and they work on creating process. So they would be able to upload their invoices to the system to basically a file. It goes in for Ashley to review, and then it would go through the necessary steps of if it goes to Gloria for approval after that, if it needs to have my approval, if it needs to have the board approval, whatever those steps are, it takes those steps, completely digitizes all of that, and then it does a walk with our current system where it basically drops all of that invoice information that is manually being entered into the system right now, drops it into the current system. So it just streamlines a lot of process overall. Well worth the investment that we have here. And then there'll be the future planning is to have it incorporate HR onboarding and record management across all departments as well. And then other department specific needs that were being addressed during our initial review by this application. With that, I will open it up for questions.
Who manages the information that this AI system will get? I mean, who's going to be managing that?
So it's a cloud-based management system. So it's all in the cloud. That's part of the agreement, is that they help manage the work. We have volunteers already that are helping out with the town that are already helping out with scanning documents in, so that we have those documents already scanned. It's just a matter of organizing the documents. And then that's another part that Dorothy would probably help out with her IT side that she does help out with on that, with any type of extra work that would be needed on the town side.
But AI is involved in this. So.
AI is 100% involved in it. It's an interesting technology and the way it works. So,
yeah, but AI can get out of control.
Yep. Any other questions or discussion? Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades. Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Nevades?
Yes.
Yes.
Mayor, the roll call is 2 yes.
Great. Thank you very much for the approval of Square 9 automation and proposal. Next item on the agenda is approval of our Tyler Cloud Hosting update.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by Trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by Trustee Nevades. And what we have here is we use Tyler Systems and Encode as our main accounting system. And there's needs to be updated to the current version to help out with many fixes and ease of use, as well as it being a cloud-based system helps out with the IT company that we contract in to help come in and help meet with Tyler to make those fixes happen. And it's easier for them to do that and actually more secure when all of the reports are in the cloud versus when they can be attacked on a physical server. So what we're looking at here is moving to the moving to a cloud-based version. It's a total, as you see it, of the annual investment. Our current investment is about $8,300 less annually. So we would be paying $8,300 more for having it be a cloud-based system that can be accessed through the cloud, if you will, rather than on the server. And that proposal is in here. And this, because we did initiate the payment already for, as it's a new fiscal year for our current system. But the way that works is that, and it would be the same with the next item as well, is that we pay the payment up front for that, and then they reconcile whenever they can get the install done, and then kind of provide the refund and then do the recharge and process it. So depending upon when that goes into effect. So this annual investment would not go into effect until it is fully installed into the system. Any questions? Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by trustee Nevada's. Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Roll call is 2 yes.
Okay, thank you very much for approval of our Tyler cloud hosting update. Next item on the agenda is approval of Tyler 10 update for our encode system. We're presently working on Tyler 9, which is outdated and clunky, unfortunately. And Tyler 10 is the next version of that update. And that'll help with fixing a ton of fixes across the town. We have 2 team members that have used Tyler 10 in specific in other capacities that they've worked at with other government entities, and they speak wonders of Tyler 10 in particular, and definitely back the upgrade for sure. The upgrade to Tyler 10 is that one-time investment that you see there for $63,000. With that, it is an upgrade cost with 50% due upon the start of the upgrade. And as I noted there, it is a 6 to 9 month upgrade process and training window. And that remaining balance is due upon the full completion and training being completed. The reason why I have this in front of you right now is because the company is currently out a year on upgrades to version 10. So they just need to have the commitment to get us onto a list for the upgrades. So there is no cost that would be incurred to the town until September of 2026, with the final balance being in May or June of 2027, which, in speaking with the representative, the billing could be fully pushed into the following fiscal year as well. So we'd be able to split that full cost of the investment upgrade between 2 fiscal years to kind of balance out even more, because it is a good size chunk of money right there.
This is one of those things that is definitely needed.
It is crazy needed. So we are looking at the other, just on a side note as well, we are looking at on the utility side. I have another company where we might actually take the utilities portions away from Tyler and go with a different company. The finance team and myself have a meeting with this company next week, and it streamlines that process and what it looks like. It's for the residents more than anything, as well as for the team. It makes it an easier viewable where you can actually see all of your history. You can see all of your account information. You can see what's being done to your property, how your property's been affected in all utilities, not just water. If you pay water, sewer, and trash, all of that information is fully available and shows a full breakdown of your billing. And then, of course, gives an ease of use of payment online. So that might be another potential in there. And so these potentially will change over time. It's just a matter of getting that initial note in there that we are interested in that upgrade to 10. And then once we get to that upgrade time frame, then we would have that be able to tweak it however that may need to be. Any questions, trustees?
No.
I did start a discussion on this before the motion for approval. I can have a motion to approve, please.
We already did. Yeah. So
Yeah.
moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by trustee Nevada's. Any further discussion? Seeing as there is none, Gloria, if you can roll call vote, please.
Johnson Burek,
Yes.
trustee Nevada,
Yes.
Mayor, roll call is 2 yes.
Thank you very much for approval of the Tyler 10 encode update. Next item on the agenda is public input, where the public is invited to address the board for any other reasons that you may like to. If you would please step to the podium and state your name for the record.
Veronica Garcia. So what I understood right, you're taking a job from Public Works to go to the Linda project. I hope when people apply for this position that you guys are equal and fair, because there is already an employee in Mesilla that's bragging that that position is his. So we can sit up here and talk, but we know no one's going to do anything about it. So I'm hoping that it's equal and it's fair, especially when you have, I'll say it again, an employee bragging that it is his position already. And I hope Lorenzo's department, Public Works, doesn't need help, because the bigger you make these parks and the bigger you're making the town, he's going to need more staff out there, because Public Works do stick around in Mesilla. They do keep it pretty the way it is. So if you're taking one of his positions, just hope in the long run, how is he going to handle it? You're going to lose a good man that carries Mesilla. Rico was here from El Paso Electric to update, and he even said it. Lorenzo was out there all weekend long, you know? So just hope you guys do it equally and fair and not bullying and being favorites, because there's a lot of favoritism in there. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Any other public comment? Seeing as there is no other public comment, we'll move on to our next item on the agenda, which is closed executive session for discussion concerning the purchase of land and shall be closed to the public pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1, H8.
Mayor, in light of two of the trustees not being present, I'm kind of hesitant to go into this discussion without them hearing it. And then I see that after that is discussion concerning, any action that may arise. And I would hate for trustee Navarez and I to spend money with,
No doubt.
you know what I mean? We spent a lot of it. I just think it would be more beneficial to get their input with something as big as this.
Most definitely.
I mean, trustee Navarez, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but
Right.
we probably, if it's going to lead to action tonight, it would probably be preferable to have the other two trustees, so that there's a full board consideration. And I don't know, because the next line, it says may. So I don't know if there's a definite action going to be taken, or just,
What are your thoughts?
I think we're just having a discussion on that. I don't believe that there'll be action. And if there are action, it should require the full board.
Okay.
I definitely agree with that. So, but I think that having a discussion or initial discussion is not going to hurt anything.
Okay.
And we can continue discussion as well after continually.
Okay.
No?
Okay.
But that's up to you all on that.
well, if it's a discussion, I mean, I'm open for a discussion, but, and then later on, the other members can have another.
Precisely.
So you need a motion?
A motion to go into closed executive session for discussion concerning land purchase or purchase of land, and shall be closed to the public pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1, H8.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by trustee Nevada's, seconded by trustee Johnson Burek. And unless there is objection or further discussion, the motion will carry and we will be entering into executive closed session. And the time is now 6:56 and we will be retiring for executive closed session. We'll return shortly.
I know exactly where you guys are going. This is your next issue. This thing, come on.
But at least I got. Yeah. Well, no, but I'm gonna sign it. I've been driving my car. I just took that. Allow us, and then allow you to respond. What's the options? So I don't have. Yeah, those, you're great. It's gonna be like your emotion when you have now.
It's gonna be like used more often, engaged and everything else, but like.
I'm really, patient. And they just.
But it's gonna be the.
You know why? Because I do it.
It'll be a right vote.
So I put myself in a position to.
But yours is what I can say.
Well,
Yours
it's
is
green,
smaller, but.
no, it's like green, and like, it is good, so when I take a picture, that's what it goes like.
I think it's.
Okay.
So I think that's what we're gonna try to get better. Just like the-
I just.
It looks nice. You've got it on.
It's very different. Are you asking me something?
It's gonna be silly, I understand, I understand some people, I'm the same, I was
Yeah, he's, New Orleans, taking a class of being a dispensing photography instructor. So, Socorro, the firehouse. So I get here on the barrel.
They would pay for the first year, and then after that.
These windows get something dark outside. But sure as hell at the station.
Yeah, well, I just.
The ventilation cost on this. Yes. But the plan is nice. But I understand what he's. It's on the other side. If you don't self-sustain yourself, like really being paid for staff and what other public boards and do stuff, then you're gonna use that for big person in the county control that city forces is that's what I'm saying. That's what we have. 10 years. County end up there. That's what we're trying to show that we're able to be self-sustained. You got that, Ted? But I know there's all discussion about what do you mean. Because if you just happen to really have an answer, everybody wants to say they were doing it. I'm going to talk. But I will not meet that. I get. She get up in Hey, you don't even believe it. We're trying to get rid of it. So yeah, there's, I mean, he's young there. I mean, at what point, you gotta use it. The same problem that, how would he, because I didn't know a person that worked for me for many years. He has good, fair, and he really, and whenever that position over, so I recommend he came over. But again, well, I do it. Sometimes a little, okay. Usually we have a small offices anywhere. I've never really looked for big use stuff. Small ones, everybody knows everything and everything. You just get used to it. Yeah, but I enjoy helping. There's a lot of practice there. Maybe you're trying to put them in that position. One of these days, I'm going to you walk out and you have somebody there up there. Sometimes I'm like, but no, I can't. Easy. There you go. We'll see. I like that.
Hey, how many chickens do you have left? So how's your chicken season?
Oh, chicken. I'm what do you have, like 6?
Do you want chickens that have no hair on the neck?
Don't chickens that work, the one that I eat. I don't explore. I'm not very good. We have to do it. So the rooster, he kept attacking him. Really? Yeah, and 3 days ago, Shadow was going to door. He came out, he turned around, they were the one going to hell. Now he's like, oh my God, you don't have any other rooster? No, I don't know.
Just that white one, they got that, you know, like this big one.
I didn't see it.
And he released me in his phone.
We might try that every time, we just grab it. But then my daughter, I put a swing in the coop, so she said that she's super cool. And now I hear that, you little motherfucker. You little motherfucker, you're not gonna poke me. It's like, I guess he's trying to get him, so that's just that. But, I mean, his hackle stands up, I just said, oh,
Y los marracas están en el walker ahorita. Chicks are fast over there, I think the eggs was like a chicken. And he got after her, he had a walker. Yo le dije, ¿a qué? Pues telling her, about what people do. Hey, we need to get rid of him. Okay. No,
He's dangerous.
No, why they go out there?
she should have called me, I would have called him, pushed him and gave him my foot.
No, me gustó, claro. He came after me, he did.
Well, they've knocked him out so many times.
I know.
He gets
I
up.
knocked him back. I let him get out there.
I know my grandma died because of a rooster here in the chin, and then they just got gangrene. They at that age, used to that age, it's hard for them with the bacteria and stuff.
Well, I breeded them. I got the eggs and then we have a rooster that's just as big as I.
Oh, you got
I got the incubators,
Oh,
yes.
that's cool.
I got a red one. See,
That's awesome.
the white one, I gave it to my brother.
Yeah, all the white ones are male and the red ones are female. Those are easy to identify that breed. Whenever all the eggs were becoming very expensive, you know, there was a shortage of eggs. I was selling my dozen eggs on eBay. I can show you anywhere between $25 to $108 a dozen.
Okay,
A dozen. Now people have order. I couldn't keep up with them. I couldn't keep doing this. Come on, I need some more eggs. People were just going crazy. Well, it's because it's the breed. The breed is a production brown. These are hybrid animals that with the production. Let's look at yellow. What's happening? They lay just as many eggs as the leg one, which is the most popular one, the one breeds the most. People don't realize that the cost analysis that you do on a hen, depending how much food you spend versus how many eggs you get,
Right.
they're one of the highest ones that they're low cost because they produce a lot of eggs. The thing is, they die, right now they're starting to die, they die soon, within 2 years, because the reproductive system is always going, it doesn't stop, so it's overloaded. So they're only good for 2 years.
No, we've had them in 2 years.
No, I'm just saying, anything above that, that's when you start noticing some problems.
No, porque ya estaban pelones for the pinche rooster.
No, pero no le gusta lo que hace that.
Mi chaval, que vive en campaña, y se digo, ven, dame la egg ticket. Hijo de su.
Yeah, these right here are supposed to lay like an egg every 22 hours. Average at the end of the year, you're looking at 380 eggs.
Yeah, because you get.
Now, providing it matters how much food you give them, you gotta give them the right ratio, because they can't be overweight. If they're overweight, it slows them down. So you don't wanna give too much.
Mine is overweight.
Yeah,
We got
you give too much, it
we got
affects
a
it.
watermelon patch, and my brother brought me a big watermelon. Ni una estaba buena. Buena preñas.
Yeah.
Oh, chickens. Hijo de.
I'm having the same problem with my cantaloupe. I'm just kicking this year's kicking my ass porque, you know, you're not supposed to overwater them whenever they start to get the right, because that's a pop, right? But then it's too freaking hot that se están muriendo los mares, you know what I'm saying? So you can't re-water them, but at the same time, it's like, I need to give them water because se están muriendo, you know?
¿Sabes qué me gusta mucho? La reina, el palma. De primo, que picar el
Does it shake? I think that's what I'm gonna do, eventually do some kind of, I'm gonna plant another round of hockey within a year, because it's like 100 days before you're in the first frost. And then they mature in 90 days, so I'm gonna try, that kind of really like maybe 80, 90, cantaloupe though. And we still, so that I can.
This year? You
I'm on my second patch. I got a pack coming through for like.
All right, the time is now 7:09 in the evening, and we are returning from closed executive session where there was only discussion concerning the purchase of land that was closed to the public pursuant to NMSA 1978, Section 10-15-1H8. If I can have a motion to enter back into our regularly scheduled meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion on the floor by trustee Johnson Burek, seconded by trustee Nevades. If there is no discussion or objection, we will be entering back into our regularly scheduled meeting. And the time is now 7:10 in the evening, and we are entering back into our regularly scheduled meeting. Item number 10, there are no actions that arose from the result of executive closed session, so we'll move on to item number 11, Board of Trustee Committee Reports and Liaison Updates. Trustee Nevades.
Yes, I met with the director of the economic and community development. So we went over and he updated me on some things. So met with him. The other thing, there is a Friends Taylor site meeting on Wednesday, which I plan to attend. So.
Thank you, trustee. Trustee Johnson Burek.
No liaison reports, and then this Wednesday, August 13th, is when we have our MPO board meeting, governing board, again, 1 p.m. at the City of Las Cruces Chambers. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. And as Trustee mentioned, I also sit on MPO, so I will be there and present with that. I do have a meeting with District Engineer Chavaria a little bit before for a couple of other updates that I want to get with him for things that we're working on. We do have an economic roundtable that morning with the county as well that we will be attending. Mr. Salazar and I will be in attendance for that in particular. That's this coming Wednesday. We do have tomorrow a meeting with DSI, our IT company, to talk about PC deployment, because if you recall, we did have the necessity by the beginning or end of September to deploy new computers out to the town because Windows 10 was going out and Windows 11 is in. So those that have Windows 10 on them will no longer be able to be used. So we're coming up with the game plan for that. We did have our Water Trust Board applications open up, and I did participate in those NOIs as well as the initial grant meetings. We had a great meeting last week with the National Historic Trails designation in specific that was put together by both Eddie and Liana with this meeting for the Camino Real at signage as well as other information on that. And we did do a walkthrough and punch on the Calle de Picacho and Calle de Santiago project, which will be, I have a couple of pictures to share with everybody. And that's kind of the updates of what I have coming up right now. So with that, we'll move on to Board of Trustees staff comments. Mr. Marshall.
Good evening, Mayor and trustees. National Night Out was a success. Myself and Sergeant Hernandez and a handful of interns were out there, as well as the Mesilla Fire Department. So families and kids got to check out my unit, Sergeant's unit, the fire truck, and then the new squad or ambulance. We ran out of all our goodies, so I need to restock before the fiesta. But what everyone really liked were the interns showing how fingerprints work on crime scenes. They had different textures, and they were telling people put your hand down, finger down, and then helping them tape it. So that was a big hit. Thursday, August 21st, I think you all are sending emails to all you guys for our second annual awards and appreciation luncheon for the department and the interns. It'll be August 21st, 12 to 2 at the Fiesta Room at Andaluz. So if you guys can attend, we'd love it. New unit should be completed this week. That was my update from last week. There's still some computer stand, printer, and some other stuff we need to do, but it should be road ready here very soon. Tomorrow, I have my meeting with LexiPool, who is the company that the Municipal League hired to redo policies and SOPs for all Municipal League members, which the town of Mesilla is included. We've been doing it since the beginning of the year, and tomorrow we finish our policy part, and then we start with our SOPs. It takes best practice. They have a team of lawyers that look over state, federal, anything that changes. Throughout the time we've been doing it, we've already had updates on major portions of it. So once we finish that, then I'll get it to the town attorney, the mayor, and then the board of trustees, so you guys can all review it and approve it. And then I stand for any questions or concerns. Thank you.
Fire. Mr. Embry.
Good evening, folks. Glad to be here tonight. Good news, we've been busy and a lot of people are getting trained. Chief is off with Captain Whited. They're out in New Orleans getting training on learning how to teach fire photography and evidence collection at the International Association of Arson Investigator Conference. Yeah, well, we have Captain Cole, what's his last name? Morris, sorry. We have Morris up in Socorro getting Fire Officer 2 training. So he keeps knocking out the trainings. He's doing a great job. We got approved for the AFG grant. That's the grant that we use for the SCBAs. And we got all the new SCBAs in, the first group of them that we had ordered. And we're excited to get those going. We also got some new task force tips and some equipment for firefighting to help us fight a little bit more effectively, a little bit more new age tips and nozzles. So we're excited to get those. We already have them in use, but we got a couple additional extras. And that looks like we got several other firefighters out doing the Fire 1 and 2 classes. And they completed the online portion. Now they're boning up and studying for the written tests. And it looks like about it. Do you have any questions? Great. Well, thank you very much. And thank you for approving the DACC. I'm having trouble with words today. The DACC agreement. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Before Eddie gets up, I'll hit on Lorenzo since I had this stuff for public works. Sorry, Eddie. So like I mentioned, Lorenzo isn't present this evening because he was helping out over the weekend. And as Ms. Garcia mentioned earlier with Rico here, I was in contact with Rico as well over the weekend to give updates on the power outage because the town lost power for a little bit, but Rasa Hills lost power for a significant amount of time. And what happened is as you can see in this picture, is that a pole in specific was struck by lightning and it cracked the pole completely. So the team had to go, or the El Paso Electric team had to go out and replace that pole fully. So these are pictures that Rico sent me specific. With that power outage, the water wells and the tanks are directly affected by Rasa Hills. And as of presently, we do not have the ability to hook up generators to that water well presently, but we're working on getting that taken care of with RT Electric to come in and get a quote on the connection so that way we can hook up the generator that the fire department has to keep that pump up and going in the future. So with this incident over the weekend, Lorenzo and I were in constant communication. He and Manny were out at the site almost all weekend, as it was noted. With that, but the water levels in the water tank in specific were getting lower and lower. So we did have to open our emergency line that we have with the city of Las Cruces that helps with backfill and coming in. So that line was open. It's actually right down the road here on Evan in Mesilla, and that's with that emergency upgrade. That's why a lot of residents notice, or emergency service that was helped to provide. So a lot of residents noticed a little bit of brown tinge to their water because that water line in specific had not been opened in many, many years or had the need to. But this was one of those points where it did need to. So in moving forward, we have upgrade identification in specific for electrical work to be done at the site. We do have our capital outlay that we have received in specific for the planning and design to be done for our water tank and water system to have an additional tank. And then we do have our NOI that has been submitted to the Water Trust Board for our new water pump to be replacing the second well that we do have up in Rasa Hills as well. So we have identified these areas, and we're working diligently on that to try to get that funding taken care of. We do have updates as it was, and of course these are different, look a lot different now because this area is paved, but this is just our University Avenue. This was before the initial paving happened, but you can see all of the sidewalk infrastructure that's going in, all of the paths that are going in, so on and so forth. As I mentioned just a little bit ago, we did do a punch with the Parque de Cura or the Santiago and Calle de Picacho improvements there. So a few before and after pictures that you see here of the Picacho side of the park, the Santiago side of the park, and then the parking area that is adding that additional 30 parking spots over off to the side by the basketball court. And the basketball court is fully resurfaced, as well as a small court right next to it. And it should be getting the painting done on it or restriping for the court itself, which will be for the large court as well as the small court, and also include, as I had mentioned before, a spot for Foursquare, hopscotch, and tic-tac-toe in specific. So there'll be a little bit more infrastructure through Clean and Beautiful. We have more infrastructure that will be going into the park as far as it pertains to additional. There'll be a water fountain with a water bottle filler and a dog bowl. And in that park, we'll have flower beds going in there within the next couple of weeks, along with flowers and plant and foliage going in there. We do have the wall for the sign in specific Parque de Cura, Ramon Ortiz will be going on there, and the lettering will be going on there by the end of this month, and hopefully a mural by the beginning of next month. In future planning, there, just as it was noted through the destination forward, those two poles that you see there in the second picture are for a potential charging station in the future, not planned out as of right now in that park, but it is for potential upgrades in the future if necessary on there. So that way we're not tearing up the park more than we already have. But some great things coming in here, and this project is probably about 90% done as of right now. It is 100% done with all of the main construction and infrastructure, but it's 90% done with all of the additional things that we're going to be adding into it that do include extra trees in that area as well. And with that, I'll move on to community development. There you go.
Yes, good evening again. This is for the, obviously, month of July. We did have some businesses get registered. A lot of these are from events coordinator with the Mercado and the special events that they sign up for. We didn't have as many zoning permits for the month of July. We did have some administrative approvals that came through the door. No special use permits, no variances. The projects we're working on right now is one of the things that I've been mentioning or talking about is the lodger's tax. Lodger's tax, we did get notified by Mr. Nick Hernandez from Airbnb representative, and he stated that they are ready to move forward with collecting the lodger's tax for Mesilla out of every operator in Mesilla and submitting it to Mesilla properly, making sure that we obviously see those funds. That will start in October 1st. So October 1st, every STR owner will no longer have to submit personally their payment from lodger's tax. But it does bring a question, what about those operators that have not been paying lodger's tax due to they felt that they were already being charged through the platform? So it'll be a discussion that the mayor and whomever to get to making the right decision on how to move forward from this. COG, we are pretty much all the package put together for COG. We're just finding the right opportunity to have a hearing. We're going to have one more workshop with the P&Z, and then we'll be having a hearing. The hearing will be regarding the amendments proposed by Liana and also Carla McWilliams from up north, so we can become compliant with COG and get that certification, and we can start moving forward on that. I'm still waiting. I was supposed to get it last week, but I'll make contact with Mr. Cabello regarding the franchise agreement with the new company that wants to come in, the fiber optics company. So we drafted something up. He's reviewing it, and hopefully, if everything goes well, as mentioned before, we'll be having some services, free services to the public building, the community center, and town hall, along with the, as I mentioned, the 5% revenue from other services that they collect. Comprehensive plan. We did have a meeting with Danny, and I forget the other person that was the other lady there, but basically we're almost at the very end of the wrapping that up, which is exciting. You know, August 15, plan edits completed and draft proposed. September 2nd is coming up. Also a joint work session between the P&Z and the BOT. And September 9th, the closed comments on public review draft. And then September 22nd will be a final plan hearing for the comp plan. Record management, I'm happy. I'm glad. I'm actually pretty excited that the Square 9 was approved through the AI software. I never really worked with an AI regarding records management, but I worked with AI quite a bit on my own personal use, and it's pretty fascinating to the point it's actually kind of scary, right? So it's got a lot of good benefits, and hopefully the Square 9 is going to allow us to obviously save time, streamline the process. As the mayor mentioned, a lot of it's going to streamline the process through my department when it comes to permitting. It also, with record management, also there's some communities that allow for the public to research public records on their own website, so they'll take away a lot of the pressure away from us to being able to look for records and meeting those deadlines. So yeah, we are definitely excited. And not only that is a lot of our cases that we have coming up, we always have to reference a lot of previous cases, and it's difficult to bring information to the board and to the commission when you can't find that information that you all need to make those decisions. Currently, Liana is working on an application with the mayor and the ad hoc committee regarding the murals permits. We want a specific application for that because there is a distinctive process that needs to follow. Continue working with the historic registry. You know, Liana is out there speaking with the community regarding their properties and see what kind of information that we can start putting together on our historic registry so we can grow that what we have now. There's a process that we would need to follow regarding first creating a local registry here in Mesilla, and then every submission or every property or every landmark that is going to be, or at least it's what's that word when it's proposed to be, there's the nominated, there it is, nominated to be in a local registry, needs to be going through a strenuous process as well. So it's a delicate process, but it needs to get done, and I think I'm excited to start putting that together and also put it online and make it digital, right? So we can have more updated pictures, information, those kinds of things, so that we can obviously have that on record. We did have a meeting, as the mayor mentioned, with the National Park Services regarding the Camino Real. I won't touch too much on that, but that again is also pretty exciting news. We also talked about the Butterfield maybe later on down the road, how we can relate with that. Website, I think, is one of Liana's. I think is one of her top priorities is to get a tab on our website to give us an opportunity to promote history, promote buildings, landmarks, engage with the community, those kinds of things. So we'll definitely be working with Dorothy and the mayor and to be able to put some information there for us to be able to engage with the community. Working with the codes department regarding the business license I mentioned before, we did provide him a list of unregistered business licenses. There's also some unregistered STRs. He's already been on it. He's already been contacting with us regarding some businesses, but again, there are some businesses that still haven't renewed. There might be some on that list that I didn't recognize. Might be some on that list that's already been business no longer exists, but we still need to cross that off of our list so we don't have to continue to see those as pending businesses. And then also, as you say, September is right around the corner, so we're working on coordinating that event coming up soon. I think I'm hearing some pretty cool ideas, so we'll see what happens with that. I'll stand by for any questions. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you for all the updates. Sorry.
And Mayor and trustees, we are now going into the audit process. We have on-site auditors here October 6th, that whole week. They've already submitted a list of tasks that we need, all the reports we need to submit. So all staff is working on getting that completed so that they can review that before they come on site.
Feels like we just finished the last one.
Thanks to everybody, thanks to the board, the final budget and fourth quarter were submitted. So we're just waiting to see. There was one other thing they asked for, it was done today. So. Okay, any questions, anything regarding the revenue and expense or any? No? Thank you.
BOT updates. Trustee Nevadas.
Don't have anything.
Nothing. Trustee Johnson.
I caught this last week. We've already approved the minutes for July 14th, but I just wanted to have it on record. And I don't know why I didn't catch it, and it's my fault. But in the minutes for July 14th, under action and consideration, number 6 for new business, it was letter A, acceptance for the MOJAC committee findings and recommendation. It had me voting yes. And I had voted no. And trustee Navarez voting no. And he voted yes. So I'm sorry I didn't catch it when we were approving the minutes, but I just wanted to make mention of that. And that's all.
Thank you for bringing that forward as well, Trustee. As it was mentioned by Mr. Salazar, keep in mind and put in your calendar right now for a joint meeting DOT and the Planning and Zoning Commission for our comprehensive plan on September 2nd in particular, which is the day after Labor Day. We will probably start at 4 on that day, if possible, just so that it allows the planners enough time to spend with both the Board of Trustees and the Planning and Zoning Commission. Because if you recall the last meeting that we had, the joint work session, which we got some great information, but it seemed like that hour that we had, if we went over just a little bit, but it's like we could have had a little bit more time together as well on working on that. And recalling when we worked on the comprehensive plan back in 2017, I do recall that when we had the joint work session then as well, that more time would have probably been good for the joint meeting. So if possible, if we can look at having that at 4 p.m. And if you have issues, just let me know and we'll figure it out. As it was also mentioned, is that draft of the comprehensive plan should be received by Friday. Once we receive that draft, we'll make sure that it's posted online, and then we'll have that go out or have a notification posted at all of the posting locations for our residents as well. I do want to point out that Dorothy left you guys a goodie bag here with all kinds of fun stuff, promotional items that are in here. I just want to point out my favorite item in here. I know it's in here somewhere. Is the little taco. There's a little taco in there. There it is at the bottom. You got to check this thing out. It's a little stress reliever because I know we all need a stress reliever. A little taco that says, "Let's talk about Mesilla," right? So keep that in mind. That's fun.
I like that
stress
one
reliever.
too.
You can't go wrong.
But I like this one.
The hats. It's good stuff. I tell you. Yeah, no, there's a bunch of fun stuff in there. So these are all, so if you're going to a conference or you're going out into the public or you have have an event that you want swag for that's Mesilla branded, make sure that you get with Dorothy because she has that and all of that. And there's a bunch of fun stuff. And if you have ideas as well, please get with Dorothy, Eddie, or myself, and we'll bring those forward for sure.
Oh, Mayor, there's a conference from the national conference at an MSU in October. This would be nice.
Okay,
I think they're planning to come to the sea also. So
perfect. Yeah, just let us know how many attendees, and we'll put together a couple of things for you. But there's a bunch of fun stuff in
Alright.
there. So, the couple, just two other things that I just want to point out is that in the revenue and expense information, and in specific, when we look at the GRTs and the GRT reporting, I think that it's important to note in here is that this time last year, when in July, when we received our GRTs, we were down year over year from that by about $20,000. And this year we are up, and we're up over almost $50,000 in GRT. So we're making that trend back in the right direction. In other words, which is great. And so I'm always talking with Gloria about that when we receive that, and with the ideas. Like I told her certain months, because having a business, I can kind of gauge it and say I know that this month is going to be slow. And she's like, "You called it," but on the point of like a couple of these other ones, you can call it when it's going to be busy, which is great, because we can see when those actual GRTs and everything else will be coming in. So it's good stuff for the town in general. So but I just want to point that out and make sure to drive down on some of that information in there, because it's good information all around about our departments and how they're performing. Other just quick updates is because we are at the beginning, so a month in, a little over a month in to our new fiscal year, and I've been signing off and getting these grant agreements going for quite a few grants, including our capital outlay, which was sent in today. If you recall, in previous conversations, we have had over $840,000 that we received in capital outlay. So those grant agreements have been submitted. So we will be receiving all of that. The projects to get those projects in motion. We did receive a grant from DOT for the charging stations. There'll be 4 charging stations in the amount of $780,000, and those will be going in here along the Avenida in specific. Fire fund alone has received a little over $320,000, not counting money for LE fund, for EMS fund, all of these other funds. But all I want to point out is that here we are, a little over a month in to this fiscal year, and we've already received a little over $2 million in funding for our community, which is phenomenal. And this is just the beginning of the year. We're going to continue to get grants submitted and go after the projects that mean the most for our community in that. So we do it together as a team. We do it together as a community. So thank you for all your support to everyone in that. And with that, if there is no further discussion or objection, the time is now 7:40, and I will call this meeting as adjourned. Thank you.
is your little. His dog or cat is okay.